All right, hello and welcome to VOP News Update. I'm Moses Humphrey. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar, and the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tarid Lagbaja, have urged troops at the various theaters of operation to work in synergy with other security agencies. They appreciated the troops and their families, particularly the dead and the wounded, for their sacrifices towards ensuring peace and security in Nigeria. The service chiefs spoke at the combined Eid al-Kabir celebration held for the troops in Maiduguri on Wednesday. A statement on Thursday by the spokesperson for the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Ayodele Famuyiwa, said Abubakar attributed the recent operational success to the combined efforts of the Air Force and land forces, urging them to do more. Abubakar attributed the recent operational success to the combined efforts of the air and surface forces, which he noted would not have been possible without the selfless sacrifices and devotion of the troops and their families. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission said on Wednesday that it remained undaunted in its prosecution of a former registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, Professor Dibu Ojerinde. The ICPC, which is prosecuting Ojerinde for an alleged fraud of 5 billion naira, accused the Don of using several false names, aliases, and forged means of identification, such as Akombi Lamidi, Adeni Banji, Habibullahi Lamidi, Joshua Olaniran, Olakuleyin, and so many others, to perpetrate his corrupt practices through various bank accounts, and still retains the resources and influence to evade justice. The ICPC also rejected a recent ruling of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which ordered it to pay Ojerinde 1 million naira damages over his rearrest on January 26th on the court premises. Justice Obiora Igwatu ruling on a fundamental rights suit filed by Ojerinde had declared that the rearrest and continued detention of the former head of JAM was illegal, holding that the ICPC violated Ojerinde's rights to personal liberty. The judge ordered that the anti-graft agency pays Ojerinde 1 million naira in damages, in addition to another 200,000 naira as the cost of instituting the lawsuit. The ICPC contended that Ojerinde's rearrest was based on a warrant issued by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. The World Bank says that Nigeria's digital and financial infrastructure is inadequate to support a swift transition to a cashless economy. The bank stated that this was one of the reasons the Central Bank of Nigeria's Naira redesign policy failed. It disclosed this in its June 2023 Nigeria Development Update report. The bank affirmed that the policy led to a scarcity of cash and negatively impacted economic activity in the early months of 2023. It said the short transition period of the Naira redesign was insufficient for the CBN to replace the demonetized old notes with new ones, leading to a cash scarcity. The Washington-based bank noted that the adverse shock to economic activity was further intensified by reversals in policy decisions and conflicting positions between states and the federal government, the CBN, and the Supreme Court. It highlighted that non-oil, non-agriculture GDP declined from an average quarterly growth rate of 6.0% in 2022 to 3.9% year-on-year in Q1 2023, according to the Global Bank. The Naira redesign policy had no desirable effect. Oil marketers have projected that the pump price of petrol could rise above 700 naira per litre in northern Nigeria starting from July. The National Controller Operations Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Mike Osatui, made this statement on Wednesday. He said that prices could rise to above 700 naira in the north, once independent marketers start importing products from July. Well, he said while those living in the northern states could pay as much as 700 naira and above for 1 liter of petrol, those outside Lagos should expect to pay around 610 naira, as residents in Lagos would pay about 600 naira per liter. The downstream sector currently awaits fresh petroleum products as the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority continues to license operators willing to get involved in the importation business. The Executive Secretary, Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria, Olufemi Adewale, said on Tuesday that the NMDPRA was currently licensing more importers. He said arrangements were on full speed for fresh products from July, adding that prices of products would depend on market fundamentals. In sports, former Nigerian boxer Jerry Okorodudu has died at a private hospital in Lagos after battling a foot ulcer that left him bedridden for weeks. He was aged 64. Okorodudu's wife, Adenike, confirmed the news of his death. But the hospital is not willing to release her husband's corpse until the outstanding 600,000 naira medical bill is paid. Okorodudu represented Nigeria at the Los Angeles 1984 Olympic Games, where he competed in the middleweight category. He was a gold medalist at the Oluyole 1979 National Sports Festival in Ibadan. His medical predicament began in 2020 with a boil affliction that affected his mobility. He then had a successful surgery at Dan's Hospital, Ikorodu, Lagos, but his health relapsed after he was diagnosed with foot ulcer and suffered a stroke. May he so rest in peace. In foreign news now, Saudi authorities are investigating an incident involving an assailant and a security guard who were killed in an exchange of gunfire outside the U.S. consulate in Jeddah, the gateway city for the massive Hajj pilgrimage taking place in Mecca. The gunman and a Nepalese security guard both died after the exchange of fire outside the consulate on Wednesday evening. The shooting coincided with the final day of the Hajj at nearby Mecca. More than 1.6 million foreign pilgrims arrived on planes and boats, and they have streamed through coastal Jeddah en route to the rituals. The gunman's nationality has not been revealed. U.S. officials said no Americans were hurt and that the consulate had been secured. The United States said it was in touch with the kingdom as it starts its investigation. The U.S. consulate in the Red Sea city has been the target of previous attacks, including one on July 4, 2016, American Independence Day, when a suicide bomber blew himself up. In December 2004, the consulate was stormed by suspected Islamist extremists in an attack that left 5 non-American staff and contractors dead, as well as 4 gunmen. That attack, claimed by Al-Qaeda's Saudi branch, was the first on a diplomatic mission in Saudi Arabia, but one of a string of bombings and shootings in the kingdom at the time. In recent times, Jeddah has been a hub of U.S. diplomatic activity as the United States and Saudi Arabia together try to mediate between warring generals in Sudan. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited the city earlier this month when he met Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler. And that's the news update. I'm Moses Humphrey.